Karibu sana. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from where you're watching us from and what time you're watching us from. This is Word Wednesday right at the PCA Thome online. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. If you're back and you've been with us, we thank you so much for supporting us. Your support is what keeps us here, and we keep on sharing amazing messages in our online space, and we get our messages reaching many people. We've been talking about beauty for ashes. How can we overcome life trials? We started our journey by looking at Job and the trials that he went through, being a faithful man, and even Abraham, what he was able to go through. And in the second episode, we looked at Joseph. For his dreams, he went into trouble. And so today, we want to look at the troubles that we go through while we are waiting for God. Because sometimes it is a matter of time that we have to go wait for God to do something in our lives. But before we go there, allow me to allow our guest, Evangelist Mogore, to welcome you back and to tell you that truly you can overcome your trials. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Hello and welcome again to our another episode. We are here and we want to encourage all of us and tell us that the journey is not yours alone. We are here to walk the journey together, all of us, so that we can win together. Yes.
So we want to look at waiting upon God through the story of Hannah, which is a very compelling story, because one of the interesting things is that the Bible actually records it is actually God himself who had closed her womb.
Yes.
Sometimes you can find literally God is making us wait for where he wants to take us and for our blessing. But truly, he's aware of where we'll go. And number two, he will come at the appointed time. And so for Hannah, he was waiting. But you remember Elkanah is there. And Elkanah is encouraging her and telling her, usijali. I want you to see how sometimes when you are waiting, and we know we have a blessing that we are waiting for God, but people are telling us, uko sawa, we uko chonjo. What do you do when you know what you want from God?
Yes.
But people are even discouraging you in your waiting, or rather, people cannot see what you are waiting upon from God.
We say that God glorifies himself in doing good, and even when he seems like he's not doing right. In all situations, he brings glory to his name. And that is why the story of Hannah, God himself, he had closed her womb just to glorify himself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, at the end of the story, and at the end of many talkings, many crying, many weeping, a lot of waiting, at the end of that, we will say that God has done it. So there are some things that God will bring delay in our lives so that he can glorify himself. Sometimes he will even bring sicknesses. Sometimes he will even bring death. To us, it may pain, it may hurt, but to him, he's glorifying himself. Now, story of Hannah is another good story of the Bible that really puts us on our toes. Number one, Hannah encourages us that we need to pray. Praying without ceasing. Even when words can't even come out of our mouth. You know, Hannah prayed in the temple until Eli, the priest, was like, the lips were moving. So Eli was like, are you really drunk this much? To a point you don't even know what you are doing. So everybody will look at you and say that you are drunk because of the pain that you are undergoing. But Hannah persisted in her prayers because of what she was facing. Hannah didn't have a child. The co-wife had many children. Na alikuwa namdharau sana. Alikuwa namchekelea sana. But Hannah decided, I know my God. My God is not like any other God. My God is the God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob, God that people prayed and he answered. So I'm going to call unto this God and I know he will answer my cry. And you know, Elkanah, the husband, loved these two women so much. In fact, he was telling Hannah, even if you don't have a child, I love you equally. I even love you more. The sacrifice that I give, the inheritance that you will receive, the many things that I will do equally the way I do to Penina. But Hannah was not satisfied. Sometimes, Chege, Pastor, it is good to get out of comfort zone. Sometimes the things that we have are okay. When people look at us, they are like, Mugore, you are okay. The level that you are, it is okay. But we want to tell people, get out of that comfort zone because there is much that God has for you. Go another step of prayer. Go higher. Move up. Pray. Call unto heavens. Hannah prayed until she could not even bring out the words. The lips were only moving. She was only left with the lips moving. But from that point, when she told Eli that it is prayers, I am not drunk, I am calling unto God. Eli told her, because he was a priest in the house of the Lord, alimwambia, that which you are asking from God, may he grant unto you. May he give it unto you. And do you know God gave Hannah a child? Alimpatia mtoto anaitwa Samuel. Because she had even made a covenant that, you know, Hannah, I love the prayers of Hannah. She was so specific that God, I want a child, and not just a child, a baby boy. And when you call, and God, you give me this baby boy, I will take her back to your temple. And she did that. She honored the covenant they made with God. So the story of Hannah really encourages us that don't dwell at that level that you are in. Don't remain at that comfort zone. Discouragements will come. Things will be told to you. People will look at you and they will like end with you. Watamalizana na wewe. Na waseme hakuna mahali utaenda, hakuna kitu utaleta, you are a barren woman. Wewe ni tasa. They will call you those names. But don't settle there. Move on, because there is something that God has for you. Yes.
Wow, it is so interesting how God can be able to turn around situations. And I think that's where we're going to end by asking ourselves, there's someone who asked, why does a good God allow bad things to happen to good people? So let's finalize by answering that, because this topic that we have of overcoming life trials and the beauty for ashes is asking ourselves, I thought nikipenda Mungu everything will be nywee, but sasa bado I'm in trouble. Why do bad things happen even to good people?
We have not been promised of a smooth life. Number one, being a friend of God does not exempt you from temptations. Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of God himself,
without sin,
cried to God, akamwambia, God, niondolee hii kikombe ya suffering, but let your will be done. God allowed his only begotten Son to partake of the cup of suffering. That one does not mean that God hates you. It does not mean that God has forgotten you. It does not mean that God is not together with you. It does not mean that you are not right with God. It is only that sufferings are part of our lives. They are part of molding us. Even the most valuable, precious stone, gold, it does not just come from a good ground. Actually, it has to go through furnace. It has to be burnt for it to become that valuable, that expensive thing. Hiyo kitu precious tunasema very expensive, very dear to many of us. It has to go through fire. So even us, for us to be made, for us to become that which is so good, to have that good shape, to have that good taste, to become those good and usable vessels of our Father, lazima tuundwe. Like what Jeremiah did. Akapelekwa to that vision whereby God alimonyesha akitengeneza the pot. That clay, it has to be crushed, ifinywe kabisa, and then to be made that good shape of a good pot, a good vessel that can be used of good use. Everyone when they look at that kapot, they see a good shape, nice thing. Everybody want to possess it, to have it, because it is a beautiful thing. But where that vessel comes from, it has been molded. it has been shaped. Things have been removed. It has been pruned. Imetolewa vitu zingine, imeongezwa, so that it can become that strong thing, even in our lives. For us to become successful in the ministry, in our lives, in our businesses, in our jobs, in our families, lazima tudungwe, lazima tuchomwe, tupitie kwa moto, tupitie kwa maji, so that we can become that thing that when God looks at it, he can even see his image from us, that precious thing. So tell our viewers that sufferings are part of us. They will make us. I love the book of Romans chapter number 5, verse number 1 to 5. Kwa inasema, ni mahali nilisema in the other episode, that we not only rejoice for the good things, we also rejoice because of the sufferings. Because our sufferings, our pains, our troubles, our battles, they give birth to perseverance. So when we have suffered, when we have undergone those pains, we develop perseverance, patience. We are able to overcome. And that perseverance gives birth to character. And character gives birth to hope. So we become that which God wants us to become.
Amazing. What a place to stop. And you see, perseverance breeds character and breeds hope, and it ends by saying hope never disappoints.
Yeah.
What a way to end this journey that we've had. And I like it the way Evangelist has put it, that these trials, we are just like clay. So it is a process, but the issue is that we are going to end in a beautiful way. That beauty is going to come out of the ashes. And that's why the Bible says, at the appointed time, God makes everything beautiful. May he make it beautiful for you and for me. We thank you for viewing and watching us, and we welcome you to continue to spread the word. We thank you for being with us, and until next time, this has been the Word Wednesday. This is PC Edome, where we point you towards Jesus Christ. Bye.